I know lots of INFPs. My confirmation bias tells me so. So let me tell you all about them. Let me tell you about the INFPs. They're unfocused, they can't make decisions, except they've got very specific values and they're incredibly stubborn and they'll never change their minds. They're scattered, they're neglectful, they don't commit to anything, they ghost, they flake out, except they're also always around. You'll never get rid of them because they'll hunt you down and then unload on you about all their problems. They're called the mediators because they can find a middle ground between any two people with opposing views. And they're totally self-centered and selfish and only think about themselves. They're quiet, they're shy, they never speak up, except when they're advocating for a cause they believe in. In that case, they will never shut up. They're open-minded and maybe too open-minded. And that's why you'll always be walking on eggshells around them, because you may just set them off. They live in a fantasy world, they've got crazy unhinged beliefs, but they're a rational type. So they've also lead with an introverted judging function. They're emotional roller coasters and they're little crybabies who are prone to meltdowns, except that Jung describes them as the opposite, that they are not emotionally expressive, instead are silent and generally hard to understand and just look like thinkers rather than feelers. So who are the INFPs? Well, this is how people who purport themselves as being rational thinkers often describe INFPs. And within the space of the same couple sentences will have clearly contradictory viewpoints. I guess that lets us take the crown of being a living paradox away from the INFJs, if that's the case. But more likely, it's that people have not given adequate thought about what precisely is or is not an INFP, and instead load in a bunch of things to say, they're not like us. They are the opposing sports team. They are the people in the next town over. They are the other that we can describe as being different to ourselves, and that way lift ourselves up with special ways to describe ourselves. So what an INFP is, well, it really will come down to definitions and how you interpret them. But generally, when someone leads with saying, I know lots of INFPs, that tends to make me think that whatever comes next is something that is not going to be accurate to type. There may be INFPs in there somewhere, but it seems unlikely that there is a full bead of what entails the cognitive functions and how they manifest. So that's all I've got. I hope you're having a good day wherever you may be. INFP of any definition or not. And, well, I'll post something again soon. Bye for now.